We are joined now, first of all, Prime Minister of Australia, Albanese, is having a summit on Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday, with Joe Biden in D.C. And joining us now, this is our surprise guest, are the father of Julian Assange, John, the father and the brother, John Shipton and Gabriel Shipton. I'm sorry I kept you waiting so long, guys. Can you hear us
Oh,
okay?
good to be with you. Good to be with you, Randy.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that we are able to talk to you. We got to do something over the weekend, something that's like an hour show, because we really haven't focused on Assange because he's been on the back burner. His case, because of the Ukrainian war and then what's happening since October 7th in the Mideast. It must be a little frustrating to try to get some attention on his persecution, Gabriel.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, Julian's avenues in the UK courts are coming to an end. He has one more application to appeal against his extradition to the United States. If that appeal is blocked, then he could be over in the Eastern District of Virginia quite quickly. So the urgency around Julian's case hasn't left us, despite all the turmoil that's going on in the world. But I think really what it does reinforce is the importance of Julian's work and the message that has been sent to everybody, to all the publishers around the world, that if you do publish information and national defense information, if you are a whistleblower, that we're going to come after you, and with all our power, with all our might. And particularly around these times when the world is being shaped in a way that will affect generations, it's very important for us to be able to know exactly what our governments are doing in our name. And so Julian's case hasn't lost any of its importance in that sense.
Well, I know that Albanese is going to be there next week, and you're going to be in town in D.C. I am planning on going down there on the Wednesday next week, although I have an appointment at the UN on Thursday next week. But Wednesday, which is what, the 25th? You'll be there on the 24th, the 25th. And what's going on down there? Some of the activity revolving around the appearance of your prime minister.
Well, obviously, there's going to be grassroots actions. The Assange Defence and the DC Action Group for Assange are all planning grassroots actions around Albanese's visit. He has a state dinner with President Biden on the 25th, and as his schedule gets locked down in the coming days, we'll have more information about where other actions are to sort of keep Julian's issue front and centre, while all eyes are on the Australian-US relationship when the Prime Minister is in Washington. It's a unique moment to really ram home what the Australian Prime Minister has said, which is that he doesn't see what's purpose is served by Julian being kept in prison, and also that enough's enough, that Julian has suffered enough for this so-called crime of journalism.
Well, I urge people to go down there. Now, I've been out of D.C. since I last saw you, when the delegation from the Australian Parliament were in D.C., and that was the last time I saw you, and that was the last time I was out there with the truck. But I'm going to go out there next Wednesday in the morning for that day and come back. So I urge other people to go down there. It's important to have a turnout. Am I correct?
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly is to show not just the Biden administration, but also the Australian government that there are many people, many concerned people in the US who support the calls for Julian to be released.
Is John with you right now? Is your father
he's here,
with
but
you?
maybe he's on mute.
All right. What's that? He's on mute. All right.
Yeah, it's on,
all right.
it's on mute.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
mute.
what are you, John Shipton? This has been, for so many years now. You've been out there, you and your son and other Julian's wife out there. You got the documentary. You've been in 50 cities in the U.S., and you've got the home run for Assange that you did twice. But you keep going. What propels you? to maintain that level of energy and stick-to-itiveness for this cause. Well, I know it's your son, but where do you get the energy? And not be flattened by the lack of a quick resolution.
Andy, you take on these tasks and you don't really notice what you pay out. You only notice what comes in, and what comes in is the support of people around the world. And it's 4 years ago, the ex lawyer for the New York Times made the point that this is a global problem, and it's exemplified by the EU having the digital safety. Of course, all of these titles, when they say digital safety, it doesn't mean any safety for us. It means safety for administrations. And the United Kingdom's the same. In America, the holy grail of the United States Constitution, the First Amendment, it's being constantly embarrassed, and one of the fundamental embarrassments of that, the Holy Grail, the First Amendment, is the persecution of Julian Assange under the Espionage Act. He's not an American, he's an Australian citizen. Extraterritorial application of laws, for any law that the administration feels affects them negatively.
Well, we got 3 wars going on. We have a war going on in the Mideast, a war going on in Ukraine, and a war on journalism and the First Amendment and free speech. And so that proportionally is that is, without free speech and free press, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing today to talk about the other wars. So that is a fundamental necessity that we have to guard and maintain, and it's all goes through the persecution of Julian Assange. And so people need to know that this is as important as it was October 6th, as it was February 24th, 2022, that we have to save Julian Assange.